The coats, you need the gloves, you need the hats. What you do not need this week is to break out the snow blowers. It looked at one point, if you were looking on the weather apps late last week or over the weekend, I had a lot of people asking me about that this weekend. Are we really getting 16 inches of snow on Thursday? And it was one of those things where I was like, well, I mean, it could happen, and there is a storm. Is it going to be our storm? And much like many of the storms this season, turns out that it's not going to be our storm. It does not look like we're going to be getting heavy snow here this week, which is great news for some and maybe a disappointment for others. Certainly my kids are not thrilled about that. Let's talk about what you're stepping out to this morning. We're looking at 17 degrees in Philadelphia. We have 15 in Claymont, Delaware, 16 in Wilmington, 14 in Coatesville, 14 in Pottstown. Again, it is cold, and it feels even colder when you factor in those wind chills. Right now it feels like 5 in Philly. It feels like 3 in Claymont, 3 in Allentown, and it feels almost 10 degrees below zero in the Poconos. That is where a cold weather advisory has been issued once again, similar to yesterday. So just taking you through the day, we expect, again, just some clouds to roll in. We may see a little sun this morning. Highs only in the 20s. It'll feel like about 21 as the winds die down, but still, you need to bundle up. The latest on where that next storm is going and why it's missing us to the south, plus your weekend forecast coming up. Kim, I'll send it over. Sun actually helps, at least streaming through the windows. Maybe it helps to see the sun. Today we're not going to see as much sun, but it's not going to be as windy, so it's a bit of a trade-off. But this is just part of a larger blast of Arctic air that is arriving all across the nation. This morning is bitterly cold in Philadelphia, but it is a whole lot colder off to areas north and west of us. Let's go ahead and pull up our globe, and I just want to show you this kind of Arctic invasion as we take a look at temperatures all across the U.S. and you can see kind of the core of the Arctic cold where you see that dark purple and those brighter white shades there over western Canada. All of this cold really just sinking southward. It's all the way down into Texas and the Gulf Coast. It is below average just about everywhere. Now, generally speaking, when you're talking about cold like this and you get a storm thrown in the mix, you do get the potential for snow. And for some spots across the U.S., there will be some significant snow today and tomorrow. It looked at one point like this could be our big one in Philadelphia. You know, we're kind of due. Our biggest snowstorm was last Tuesday. We got 3.1 inches. We've had some bigger numbers to the north, to the south, but not much right along I-95. Unfortunately, it has shifted. As we've been telling you all week, it was shifting south, and we have now canceled the next weather alert for tomorrow. So 17 degrees right now in Philadelphia. Our high today, a cold 30. We'll start with some sun, and then it clouds up. The winds are not as strong, so we can be thankful for those little small favors. But we do have cloud cover increasing as this storm starts to take shape to the south. What it's going to do is transfer its energy along the coast, and that's really going to cause it to intensify. And the heaviest snow will be once again for eastern Virginia, North Carolina. Spots in that red winter storm warning area could pick up as much as 6+ inches. We're looking at maybe an inch or two in southern Delaware, but for the most part, this is going to miss us to the south. There's that coastal low. If it went just a little bit further north and tucked into the coast, we'd be looking at all this, but it's not going to. It's moving away. And once it does move away, we do have a thaw ahead. We're headed back to the 50s by early next week. Kim, I'll send it over.